All right. Looks like we are live. Hopefully, you guys can hear me loud and clear. Welcome to the live event. Like to just kind of settle in to see if we have any issues, any technical issues. Bebe Electra Tarot. Poor Savannah, her interview is hard to watch for me, and I would be making the same faces as her interviewer was. The interviewer was really weird, in my opinion. Like, I think Savannah did great. That's what she does. She did, and she looked great. She looked amazing. So good for her. Because I'm not going to say whoever did this, but I think it's a good chance whoever did do this wanted to destroy her life. Forget the ransom. Maybe that's the staging of it all. Like, they don't need a ransom. They have plenty of money. But their intentions were to create chaos in her entire family's life. Maybe they feel like, for whatever reason, Savannah has turned their lives into chaos. It's revenge. It's not ransom. So we will talk a little bit about Mark Orchard. That's Savannah's ex-husband. I feel her grief, and it is just the worst. So this is what you guys can expect. We're going to do another dive into the Nancy Guthrie case. She could very well be alive. Everybody's keeping up hope. Power of prayer. And none of that pious, fake shit either. We don't need any of that. But what you can expect from today's live stream, strange guy tries to submit a tip. So we're going to kind of give you guys all an experience of submitting a tip and what it's like and how effective the local law enforcement and FBI are at taking tips. So that'll be where we start today's live stream. Then we're going to go into what I'd like to refer to as the Gardner theory. Chris McDonough was talking about, why would this man put flowers over the camera? Why not use the wreath that's hanging right here? I think I know why. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Gardner theory, the green thumb. Then we'll get into who Travis Reynolds is. He's the ex-deputy who was accused of kidnapping and what appears to be, I don't know, almost attempted a sexual assault. I mean, what do you call him playing those videos? Right? That's got to be something more than just kidnapping. So we're definitely going to talk about him. A little bit about what we might see in the Masked Man video. We'll go back to that keychain thing that I can't get out of my head. There's something hanging out of the jacket pocket of the porch guy. Something with stripes. I think if we can identify it, it might be helpful. Maybe not. What do I know? Then we're going to look at Savannah's interview, part 3. Right? We already reviewed part 1 and part 2. We'll check out part 3. And it's actually a good segue into today's topic, which is Ronald Aaron Lopez. Right? He's the guy who gave the coordinates of Washington, D.C., drug rehab / homeless shelter. And D.C., I believe, is where Mark Orchard, where he's living now. So I don't know if there's a connection there. It's a little bit weird. Because I feel like, listening to Savannah's interview, I feel like she believes that it could be Mark. Like, secretly. It's something she would never, ever say publicly. But when I hear her speak, it's almost like she's talking about him. Even when she's asking the public for help and what they should be looking for, it's almost like she's describing him. like Mark Orchard in some kind of manic state. Hypothetically, I'm not a professional. I don't know what I'm talking about. Conjecture, conjecture, conjecture. Objection, Your Honor. All I asked God for birthday was to help us find Nancy soon. I know we are close. The only problem is if the kidnapper asks God to not get caught, then we're all screwed. What's up, Rebecca? Gabby? Okay, so that's what you can expect. And then we'll probably finish with some drone discussion. So I have big news for the Sleuth crew. We have upgraded. We are now rocking with Starlink. We got the Starlink MIDI set up to the Roam, and we're taking the drone out. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Had a frog in my throat. So Starlink is set up, ready to rock and roll. So either tomorrow or Sunday. We're taking the drone out. We already have the waypoints already mapped out. And we're going to go live. We're going to live stream the entire thing. If we have time, we'll make it into Tucson. If not, no biggie. We might do some ground searching through the washes down there. So that's what's coming up on the Sleuth Intuition channel. Casey Daking, what up? BMF 777, what up? Take it easy, boom. I don't want to have to boot you out of here, man. Pitbull investigates. What's up, Nina? How are you doing? What's going on, Doug? Cenk Zappa. I like it. Aaron Lopez seems to really like Putin, Russia, BRICS, dictators, figure skating, Taylor Swift. Oh, and Bitcoin and Doge and what was it, Dogcoin or something like that? Yeah, I haven't had a chance to dive into Oliver Guard. Keep getting distracted. I'm following my own little path, right? Trusting my gut here. Sophie's Choices, what's up? Hiatus. Or hey, it's Heidi. Sorry. Hey, Charlotte, sponsoring today's live stream. Today's live stream is brought to you by Charlotte C60. Thank you, Charlotte. Appreciate you. So, yeah, we're definitely getting into Travis Reynolds. He's probably going to be right in the middle of the stream. Gabby says, I'm ready. Good, Gabby. Welcome in. Wilson, T. Slay. I need to see the walk. We have the walk of Luke, right? If you want to go see that. I haven't seen anybody do a video on Luke's gate. Maybe that's what we'll do later, at a later date. But they have him on court TV, and at the end of his hearing, he gets up and walks away. Yeah, he looks way different. Well, it was a long time ago. I think it was like 2019 or something. Gabby says he's 6'6". Yeah, that might be too tall. Nature Walks, welcome in. All right, let's get started here. We're about at the 10-minute mark. So let's pull this up. Like I said, we're going to start with what it feels like and what it's like to submit a tip in the Nancy Guthrie case. So if you guys wonder why we're going on month 3, of one of the most high profile cases of our time. I don't know if we're getting into that OJ territory, but we're definitely John Benet Ramsey levels here when it comes to notoriety. And we always wonder, like, why can't we figure this out? Why aren't they solving this case? Where's the vehicle? Where's our license plate? Don't you have all these license plate readers? Are you searching the homes nearby thoroughly? Are you even going through the tips? Well, let's take a look at how they handled this man's tip, which seems like some of the best information I've heard so far. And he himself, people are always going to look at him like, oh my God, look at him. Because we all know that the bad guys return back to the crime scene for whatever reason. Maybe he thinks that if he gets attention to this name on this list, that it will draw attention to that person or something. Maybe he's feeling some kind of compulsion, like, I need you guys to come see this list. Look, check this out. Or there's really a creepy guy on a specific day that they requested doing some creepy shit. And he's like, look, I have something for you. Right? Let's take a look at how that went for this guy.
So I went and looked at my calendar, and on January 11th, I had an open house selling the house here.
Okay.
And
he said January 11th, he had an open house.
On that day, two of my neighbors called me up and told me that
okay, first off, why is that significant? Right? If you have people who are casing the neighborhood, casing homes, going to open houses, so they can kind of maybe they can get the key to the lockbox, right? But why would they want access to an empty home? Does that have anything to do with why the doors were propped open? Did they need a home for a reason? Did they do something inside the home? So interesting. I don't know why this guy would be, why the masked man would be interested in a home that's for sale, unless he was planning on staying there. Right? Maybe he's homeless. He's like, okay, I'm going to go find all these homes that are for sale that nobody's living in, figure out how to access them if they have any security. When everybody leaves, I'll come back, open the lockbox, and hang out here. That doesn't work out. He ends up at an abandoned home or a remodeled home up the street. Well, from there, he's kind of snooping around. What does he see? At night, he goes out on his little bicycle. He sees Nancy out there watering her plants. She's spraying them, or she's kind of hobbling over there to the mailbox. And he's just kind of watching. She lives alone. So if he is this kind of goes with the den of thieves theory that we had early on, that actually kind of goes with Ronald Aaron Lopez, right? He gave these coordinates to some kind of homeless shelter in Washington, D.C., where Mark Orchard is from. Mark Orchard is Savannah's ex-husband, who may or may not have a motive. We don't know, because we really don't know shit. Well, I don't.
guy there, he's suspicious. And
have you called the tip line?
I went to the FBI.
What? This fucking guy, the audacity. Maybe he's the fucking porch guy. Yeah, he's taking too many roids. Do you hear what he said?
Have you called the tip line?
Have you called the tip line?
Have you called the tip line? You called the tip line? And have you called? Have you called? Have you called? Have you called the tip line?
I already called. I went to the FBI yesterday.
Okay.
He said, not only did I call him, I went down to the office. Officer, please listen to me, officer. Please take my information, officer. Please.
The reason I'm coming over here is because I'm picturing my information going on a pile, and it's going to sit there with 1,000 other things.
Right.
And I feel
Cop is thinking, oh, this guy's so entitled, right? This guy's so entitled. He thinks that his tip is so special. Maybe it is, right? Maybe that's why he's acting this way. He feels that there's something about it that fits with what you're looking for.
figured if I can get over here and talk to somebody who can expedite it.
Right.
Right, expedite it. Why do you want to expedite it? Well, Nancy could still be alive, right? Isn't time of the essence, officer? Hello? Tick, tick, tick.
Okay, so January 11th supposedly was the day that they filmed this thing here where this guy shows up, right? Am I right?
The porch man, porch guy.
Not at this house, no. That the FBI was saying to look at dates from January 11th, from my understanding.
Okay.
Okay, well,
Okay, that's what I just said. You.
they just said January
Right.
11th.
Yeah.
So that day at my open house, this guy shows up, and my neighbor calls me up and says, "Ed, who's this guy that's
Cheeks.
parked in front of the house? He's been going and coming, and I'm afraid because my daughters are around." Okay,
Welcome,
so,
love light.
It ended up that I said, "Oh, we're just having an open house," and on the next day, my other neighbor said, "Hey, there was this creepy guy over here," and he came back at the end of the evening. I went over there to make sure.
Okay, so on the day that they're asking about, they actually have something that happened at a very suspicious location. Like, what the hell is this creepy guy doing here at an open house? He's casing it out. Maybe he needs a place to live.
That the real estate agent was safe. January 11th.
They always keep the keys on location. Well, most of the time.
Let's see, what else? There's more information. Oh, okay. So a couple days ago on the news, they said that real estate agents have been having a hard time when they're having an open house because people will come and steal stuff. They got to have things to protect themselves with. And I thought, oh, so what is the chance that this guy was up to no good on this day, and he's there to? I mean, maybe he did want to buy my house. I don't know, but the fact that
Welcome
they were
in,
all
love light.
concerned
Welcome to the
and
Sleuth crew.
Even to the point of going over there to make
She
sure.
warrior.
And I said, describe it to me. What did he look like? Was he black? Was he white? Was he Mexican? I talked to my real estate agent. She said he was olive colored, about 6 feet, 5'10", on the head.
Okay, 5'10". That's our guy within our guys. In the range there.
And so the
But hefty. I think he describes him as like kind of like a chubby guy.
lady across the street from my house, she works for the Arizona prison.
Okay.
She said to me, he was kind of heavy set about my height. I'm 5'10", right? And so I know the guy in the picture was basically, you're built, man. You're,
Oh shit. Yeah, he looked just like you, bro. Maybe you're the guy.
It's hard to tell.
No, I know.
He's like, no.
So all they're saying, they were just asking.
Don't
if
even
anybody
start with that
saw
shit.
Anything on this date?
Right.
Okay, so the thing is when he went to go view my house, he has to sign a thing for the real estate agent to identify who they are. She has a list,
Okay.
and this is her Heidi Foley.
Okay.
She has. I talked to her.
Potential evidence. A list. This guy would have had to sign something down. Even if it was his, like a fake name, we still have his handwriting. Maybe you have fingerprint.
And she goes, yeah, if I need to, she goes, I'm in New Zealand right now, but she says, I got that list, not with her, it's here in her office, but if we can expedite it to find out who was on that list, because there's
Cindy
names and-
Lean flexing it. Look at those biceps.
I would recommend to you, and I don't mean
Damn.
to sound like
PEDs.
I'm hearing you out and giving you kind of.
Oh, here we go.
Answer.
This is my favorite part.
I'm
Here,
in New
let's go
Zealand
back.
right now, but she says, I got that list, not with
I have
her,
the list.
it's here in
I
her
can give you
office.
the name.
But if we can expedite it to find out who was on that list, because there's names and
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would recommend to you, and I don't mean to sound like I'm hearing you out and giving you kind of a shitty answer or shitty
Mhm.
response. anything relating to the Guthrie case whatsoever.
He's like, I'm not doing any paperwork for this fucking guy. I'm not doing this paperwork. Right? He would have to fill out an entire incident report and his name will be solidified in the Guthrie papers. He don't want any part of that.
Has to go through the tip line and the task force. Patrol deputies
Is
out
that the
here.
equivalent of FBI?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay,
so
so
the
I already looked at that.
Yeah, I already did that.
And I don't mean to try to waste your time or anything. It's
yeah,
just if I were to take this information, disseminate it
If I was to take this information, then I would have to do work.
into my own report, and let's just
See,
say this was
my own report.
carbon copied, so I took this, put it into evidence. That's going to be drastically slower than the guys that are going through the tips.
I was just hoping
Day in,
that
day
Okay, explain this to me. How is it going to be slower for this man instead of standing around outside Nancy's house to go do what he just said he could do? Copy all of that and put it into a report, file it. How is that going to take longer than them going through every tip by tip, one at a time? Boom, boom, boom. Oh, 3 months later, here's this guy, right? Hey, it's a real estate guy. Hey, what's going on here? What are they going to do with that now? They probably don't have the documents. Nobody cares anymore. Everybody's blown it off. Who cares? You guys didn't care. This guy doesn't want to have to do any fucking paperwork because he thinks that this guy is a slouch or something. But right, I do admit he's a little bit strange, but when you listen to him, he is literally providing them what they asked the public for. It's almost like he's filming for a training course on what they should be looking for. So here is what it's like to submit a tip in the Nancy Guthrie case.
I was hoping I can talk to somebody who can
Please
get a hold of
take
this
my
right
information.
No, I get you. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt to try
No.
again. You can always reach out to them and kind of let them know that circumstances have changed, or you want to expedite it based on this list. Once results come back from that, obviously. I don't mean to sound.
So you cannot connect me to the right person.
Regarding the Guthrie case, not really.
Yeah.
I mean, we're left out of it. So
I just thought I'd try, and
Good try, buddy. Good try. Valiant effort. Valiant effort from a public that cares and believes that Nancy could still be alive. This man is moving with urgency because he believes that there's still hope for Nancy. And what does he get in return? And maybe I'm wrong. He's already given a tip. He's already gone down to the FBI. And now he felt compelled to show up to Nancy's home and confront an officer and local media. What does he get? Oh, you should go file a tip. It's like, oh, thank you, sir. Thank you for your service. But right, we're just ignorant. We don't know what we're talking about. It's a waste of time and resources. Whatever it is, and that might be the case. I don't know. I can't tell you. Like I said, I'm not a professional. But this is just a good example of what it's like to submit a tip. I know. The way they are set up, it breaks my heart. Ooh, Cindy Lean coming through with the super chat. All right, we are officially sponsored, you guys. Thank you for supporting the channel. Okay, what the hell is going on with this? I mean, the guy has all the paperwork. He says, you know what? I've done a little bit of work and I think I can get you a list. Everybody has to sign in. It might not be his name, whatever, fake ID, whatever. I don't know. That's your job. I'm just doing what you asked me to do. January 11th, did you see anything weird? He said multiple people were reporting this guy. And he also gave them some inside information about how these open houses might be being targeted by individuals. Sweet Wendy, what is up? FBI hasn't called till now, Sleuth. That's crazy. It's been 2 days. 2 days, man. That's nuts. That is nuts. 2 days. So imagine if this guy, which he probably isn't, let's be realistic, right? He's probably high. He's sitting at the fucking homeless shelter or rehab, whatever it is, bored, watching Nancy Guthrie coverage, and he just started trolling. Like, yeah, I'm here. I'm not a female. Ha 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 ha. Right? Kind of cryptic. You guys keep calling the masked man a female. I'm not a female. Right? Maybe he was literally triggered, though. Maybe that really upset him. Like, I'm not a female. I'm a man. I'm a full grown man named Ronald Aaron Lopez. Here are my coordinates. Coordinates lead right back to Washington, D.C., homeless shelter, rehab facility. Not too far from Mark Orchard. Or his last known address, anyway. And he's the ex of Savannah. Sylvia R. says that deputy could care less, and that's the problem. Exactly. Right? He's probably thinking, dude, you're not an investigator. You're just one of these guys. You're probably watching the case, armchair detective. Get out of my face. I'm not doing no paperwork for you, bro. CJK, what's up? Good to see you. Did I miss Redfoot? What up? What up? Redfoot is in the building. All right. So that's what you get when you submit a tip in the Nancy Guthrie case that actually sounds legitimate to the public, right? What do we know? Right. We're just giving you what you asked for. Something suspicious going on the specific date that you asked us for. And guess what? I have a name too. Would you like the name? Can I give you the name? Please take the name. I beg you. For Nancy's sake, just take the name. Please. No, I don't want to do a report, and it's going to take forever. And it's going to take it's going to take longer. Just go to just submit the tip. Try it again, buddy. If you at first you don't succeed, try again. Right? You got to dust yourself off and try again. Hell storming. That's a good way to put it. Cluster fuck. Teresa Harris. They want tips, but don't submit anything we don't have time for. And what are they doing with the tips that we are submitting? Are they going, oh my God, his name is Sleuth Intuition. This goes in the, I don't think so, pile. It's like, hi, I'm a YouTuber. He's all, another YouTuber. Gabby, welcome in. Sparky Doo. Leave him be. He only writes parking tickets. Yeah, that could have been his moment. He's like, I have no dreams or aspirations. He's like, don't get me involved in this shit. I got 10 more years till my pension. What's going on, Susie? Betty Knight. And maybe he's right. You know what I mean? Like, shit. Honestly, what do I know? Carrie, welcome in. WC, what's up? All right, let's keep it going. Let's keep it rolling here. What do we got? Okay, what do you guys think about the Gardner theory? Okay, Chris McDonough put out, I don't know if it was a post or a video. He was talking about, why did this guy bypass the wreath, pick up some flowers and some weeds and some bushes and use that to block the camera. Like, why would he do that? To me, it was very clear why he would do it. Like, to me, it was like kind of like common sense. So I want to give you my opinion on that. Let me pull up the video real quick. So he was kind of talking about that part. And then let me pull up some of the photos of Nancy's home where you can actually see the wreath that he's referring to. You can kind of see it here, but it's hanging on the wall. And I think there was another one outside the wall. I thought for whatever reason there might have been one right here too. I could be wrong. But yeah, I believe this is the wreath then. So the question was, why didn't this masked individual grab the wreath and cover it over the camera? And I believe it's hanging by a string as well. So maybe a hook. In my mind, I said, why would I grab this wreath and assume that I can just hook it on this camera? Maybe I pick up the wreath and it's tied down or it's attached. So now I'm over here kind of wasting time fiddling with this wreath. Why don't I use something that's a sure thing for me personally? You know, when I'm gardening, and that's what I thought when they said, oh, he covered the camera with flower bushes. To me, I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Everybody's like, wow, this doesn't make any sense. Well, I have a garden. I work with flowers all the time. I was just in my garden. I just literally got it ready for the summer. Right? Tomatoes, and I love to plant flowers all over the place as well. And I remember watching the video for the first time going, yeah, that's a good idea. So why would you use flowers? Because you can literally bend it into anything that you want. It's malleable. You can just bend it. You can hook it behind it. You can turn it into a hook. You can tie it. You can wrap it. You can bend it up underneath. You can wedge it. To me, it was perfect. It made perfect sense because all you really have to do is cover the small little lens. So if you can somehow wrap this bush around this camera, which is kind of big, I think it might be like 8 inches, maybe 8 inches. So for me, it made sense. So who would feel confident, you know, saying, you know, I don't want to go with this wreath or whatever this is hanging on the wall, which is an obvious choice, right? I'll just hook this right here. But they were like, no, I don't want to fiddle with that. I'm just going to grab these flowers right here because I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to bend them around here, and then I'll wrap it around there, and then boom, it'll hang perfectly. So who would have come up with that idea? A gardener. What does Nancy love to do? According to what I see here in the photo, she loves her garden. She loves her plants. She loves the foliage. She loves it all. It looks great. Even her grass looks amazing. Like, come on, fellas. We all know what that's like, right? Competition with the neighbors. If I was to walk on this lawn, I'd be like, Nancy, like you're doing your thing, girl. Like you're killing it. Your lawn game is killing it. And she'll be modest, whatever, whatever, whatever. But it looks great. All the plants look good. Everything seems to have irrigation. And remember that guy that came like walking through this little area back here? He's like, oh, yeah, Miss Nancy. She always lets me cut through here. I haven't been back here for 2 months. How many other workers are back here making small talk with Nancy? Sliding in these little sleazy questions like, oh, hopefully you have a good security system. I saw a creepy guy back here. Oh, don't you worry about me. So that question is really more for the replay crew. You guys can talk about it in the chat if you want to, but replay crew, tell me what you think about that. Tell me what you think about the Gardner theory. Why would he, out of everything that he could have chosen, he's like, I'm just going to grab these little flowers right here. These will work fine. He kind of fiddles with them for a moment or two, and he's good to go. He has plenty of time to disconnect the battery or rip that thing off the wall, whatever it is that he was doing with it. It may have even stopped recording at that point, right? There's nothing to see anymore. The camera's not picking up anything. It's being blocked by something. What's up, Hazel? Okay, what do you guys think about this guy, Travis Reynolds?
Please state your name,
Yikes.
sir.
Travis Reynolds.
Imagine your daughter or your wife getting pulled over by this motherfucker.
Great. Mr. Reynolds, this is the time for your initial appearance. You were here this morning on charges of kidnapping. That is a felony offense.
What's up,
You have the
Kayaker?
right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney, and it is ordered appointing. Oh, is it the public defender or?
Look, he doesn't even have an attorney. They're like, oh, well, we have one sitting
received
here.
the information from the Office of Court Appointed
Here, go sit over
Counsel.
there by
We
him.
will appoint the public defender's office for today's purposes. And you do
What a
have
shit
counsel
show.
seated with you for today's hearing.
He's like, I guess.
We are going to determine your conditions of release this morning. I have reviewed the interim complaint. I have also reviewed information provided by pretrial services, which lets me know whether there's any prior felony history. I'm not sure if that background noise is coming from the jail.
What's up, Doug?
Or if someone else isn't muted.
Level 2. Cindy, Sparky do, they do, but
And,
this is what a lot of cases there is a difference
It also
between
lets me know
trolling
about
to
your ties
pretend
to
to be
the
a
community,
suspect and trolling
including
in general.
employment, references, and their assessments and recommendations. Finally, I have
The only thing I can say to that, Cindy, if you're talking about Ronald Aaron Lopez, after I hear Savannah's part 3 of her recent interview, and she's talking about this guy who, she's kind of describing somebody that's manic and somebody that she has compassion for, who, she's having empathy for this individual. She's attempting to see things through his eyes. Like, I wonder what he's going through. Right? He might be panicked. There's rumors that one of the ransom notes talked about being surprised about her condition and that she passed away or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but those are the rumors that are kind of circulating. And that's how Savannah's kind of responding in her interview. She's talking a lot about her faith. She talks about the afterlife, if she's at war with God. And honestly, that's what I struggle with. And that's my greatest fear. That's why I cover true crime, It's because I've educated myself and I do my best to protect my family. And I honestly, I'm the weirdo of my family, right? The paranoid person, the one who's going overboard with the security and taking all these weird precautions. But when the shit goes down, who does everybody come running to, right? Like, good thing you did this, or we're glad you did that. So in true crime, we learn these lessons about statistics and what kind of a world we're really living in. And sometimes behind a smile is a child predator, right? You might think, oh, great, we have a babysitter. We finally get to go out with, and we get to leave, our kids with somebody that we trust. I can't believe they offered to watch them. Well, that's what predators do. They play Mr. Nice Guy. They get their little slimy hands into your life, and then they manipulate you, and they kind of appeal to things that you want, and they take advantage of you because they want to be alone with your kids. They want to victimize you. So it's a cruel world, and it's all about awareness, right? When you step out of that door, and how do you prevent true crime from happening to you? How do you not become some kind of sick individual, right? You have to take care of your mental health. You have to do your best to control the things that you're consuming in your body, drug addiction, taking care of your issues, right? Childhood trauma and things like that. That's the best thing I ever did to myself, is to recognize the trauma that I went through as a child and admitting to myself that it's okay to be a victim, right? That's rule number one, that it is okay and that you were wronged, right? You're not some kind of imposter. You don't have anything in common with these bad people. You have to be able to shout that out and be proud about it. But to me, that's what true crime is all about.
I've reviewed the state's recommendation.
Not becoming
The
a
process
statistic.
$50,000. Would the state like to be heard further?
Yes, Your Honor. $50,000 plus a pretrial services if he is released.
Yeah, forgiveness. Forgive yourself
This
first.
particular offense that is alleged.
Let God do the judging. Let God judge you. Don't pick up that task. Don't judge yourself, right? Do the best you can and move forward. Let him take that burden.
is very, very concerning. Just given the occupation of the accused and the power dynamics between him and the victim, there's indications that this might have happened before. The victim would like to see.
Right? The prosecutor said that it happened before. Let's look at the arresting affidavit that I found floating around on X. Statement of probable cause. Travis Reynolds was a Pima County Sheriff's deputy who was on duty and employed with the PCSO department on the date of this incident, 3/19/26. On this day, he transported a female, redacted, who is the victim, to the Pima County Jail on the evening of 3/19/26. As he drove the victim to jail, he commented on her appearance and called her hot and a MILF. Once at jail, he reversed his vehicle near the back wall and parked. During this time, looks like redacted, stated he exited his driver's side and approached her side of the vehicle and transitioned her hands with her that were handcuffed behind to the front of her body. Like, what is he planning to do with her hands? Like, oh, let me put your hands up here so you can better serve me. Like, you're gonna need those if you want to get off. All right, this is where it gets really disgusting. He kept her hands in handcuffs. Now imagine your daughter being pulled over or arrested by this officer. My blood is just boiling, kind of just thinking about it. He then re-entered his vehicle and they shared a vape pen. That's like grooming and shit, right? Here, yeah, I'm here, take a vape. Hit the vape. I'm cool. Trust me. Like, I know you're into it. Like, I can help you out. They shared a vape pen, smoking and talking. He then told her he could help her with her case. She asked how he would do this, and he explained that she would not go to court. He also stated they could go to a hotel and have sex, or she could perform oral sex on him. She did not respond. And then he answered her if she would, oh my God, and then showed her multiple videos on his phone. The videos were of a male, presumably Travis, according to the victim, having sexual intercourse with a woman from behind. The only portion of the video that was visible was his penis and hands. She could not identify the woman, but assumed that he was showing her these videos to suggest that she would be engaging in this type of sexual activity if she corroborated. He also showed, or cooperated, I think is what they meant. He also showed her a video of a male masturbating. This male's penis looked like the one in the video involving the sexual intercourse. She was trying to be nice and not trying to be mean since she wanted to get out of the vehicle. Like, what the hell is going on? Travis. You got some splaining to do, Travis, and why you look like the masked man a little bit. Kind of. We don't really have a clear image. Kind of seems to have the nose, the shape of the head. But you guys say he's 6'6". How did this happen, right? How did he become a statistic? This officer with no prior criminal records, not even a misdemeanor. And he's talking to women like that? Is that because that's what he's seeing? Is that the behavior that a young cop is seeing and that he feels he could get away with? But he was stupid and he knows better than to bring anybody else down with him? What made him feel so confident that he could speak to that young lady the way that he did? Where does that kind of confidence come from? Or is he just sick? Is that something he's into? And it was bound to happen, right? He slipped through the cracks, right? It's the 1 out of 10 rule. And I'm a firm believer in the 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. Doesn't matter what you're doing. School teachers, firefighters, physicians, park rangers, concession stand, cashier. Doesn't matter. 1 out of 10 is going to be a sleazy, no good Travis Reynolds. 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. Yeah, or under the influence. We have to take a personal responsibility. Remember, all of these true crime cases that we cover, the one thing they all have in common is, oh, we didn't see the red flags. We never saw this coming. This was so unexpected. Well, when you start mixing in all these ingredients, you have to be careful because you might actually make a disaster. You might actually kind of create some concoction that ruins your life. So if you're stressed out and you're not getting any help or you're not finding a release and then you're self-medicating and now you're addicted to drugs and now you lost your job, your wife leaves you, 6 months later she has a new boyfriend and then you kill him, right? The Tepe murders. You have to take responsibility every single day that you wake up so that you don't end up like Travis here. I mean, look how pathetic he is. Like, he's not going to last in jail. And then guess where he's going to go? He's going to go with all the chomos and the people who are snitches. Right where he belongs, I guess. Yeah, don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed to admit that you were traumatized as a child, that you were victimized. If you were, don't go around acting like, the whole Munchausen stuff. But if you were, it's okay. You don't have to go into detail. Just tell yourself that it's okay. And if you're stressed out and you can't handle your job anymore, tell them, hey, I need some mental health days. I need a break. Something's going on. I feel like everything's falling apart. I'm losing control of my life. It's okay. Talk to the people that care about you and say that to them. People that I love, I feel like I'm losing my life. They're going to look at you like, oh, that's funny. And then you say, no, really, something's going on. I need help. People don't do that anymore. They self-medicate. They let the psychosis, and psychosis is a really scary thing that I've been able to learn a lot about covering true crime. To me it's the scariest thing. It's one of those things that it's like they really don't understand it really. And it happens so fast at a strange age group too. I think it's like 25 to 35. Right? You're like, I'm healthy. If anything would have happened to me, it would have happened to me by now. Then boom, you're 28 years old and you're hearing voices and nobody can help you. It's crazy. Literally. So don't be afraid. All right, let's talk about Savannah's interview, part 3. Let's get this piece of shit off of there. Ugh. Man, you can't trust anybody these days. I'm supposed to trust this guy pulling me over? Tucson.
Did you wrestle with your faith throughout this? You're resolute and strong like your mama. But
so we are going to do a quick review just like we did before. If you haven't watched it already, go watch it because we're going to do stop and go and it gets a little annoying.
Did you, at some point during all of this, have to wrestle with it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, who was his references? Lizzie?
But God doesn't tell us not to wrestle with him. This isn't some cheap faith. And my mom taught me that. God only requires our authentic presence.
See, I disagree with that. She says God only requires us, our authenticity. What does that mean? That's up for interpretation. Does that mean if I'm a wicked person, that's who I am, right? That's just who I am. And God doesn't care. It's men that judge me, right? It's all you people out here who think you're God, who are casting judgment on me. And if I want to be a dark-hearted person, I can, because that's the authentic me. I feel like that's kind of like a scapegoat or something. And who's the best scapegoat? We all know who that is.
And that he has. But I never doubted. One of my mom's best friend told me that she had been going through a hard time, and she said to my mom,
free will.
How have
greatest
you
gift
kept
ever.
your faith all these years? What? Losing your husband, all the different things that my mom had been through.
Losing your husband, Charles Guthrie, man. I couldn't imagine that. I've had my father this whole time.
That my mom had been through. Like, how, Nancy,
I
how
couldn't
do you
imagine.
keep your faith? And my mom said to her, well, where else would I go?
But see, I don't like the idea of using religion as like some kind of a placebo. And I'm not sure that's what they meant, but I don't have any other choice but to have faith. I think we do have a choice.
And I hold that with me. But faith,
and I think we have to make
how
that choice.
I will stay connected to my mom. God is how I'm holding hands with my mom. And I won't let sadness win for her. She taught me. See, I saw her grieve. I saw her world shatter.
1988.
I
Charles
saw it,
Guthrie.
and I saw her get up. And I saw her believe. And I saw her love. And I saw her hope.
Isaiah, does she?
And I saw her smile. And I saw her laugh.
I thought she went to like a regular church in New York. I think I have a clip from that church here from the day that Nancy went missing, nonetheless. See if I kept it. Yeah, it's called The Good Shepherd. The Good Shepherd. This was
Blessed are the meek, for they
This was right around the time that Savannah was finding out. And this is the pastor right here.
will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil about you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. This is the gospel of our Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus. Blessed.
So it's kind of interesting. Like, he gives this prayer the day that Nancy may have been murdered. Possibly. Maybe she was killed because of her faith. Maybe she was picked. Maybe she was killed because of her faith in Jesus. I haven't seen any evidence to support that, but who knows? Performative and philosophical interview. Very performative. Everything about this has been like a bad Hollywood script. Almost like it was written by somebody who loves movies. Bad movies. Right? Even during this most recent interview, what the hell was the name of that movie? Here, hold on. It was with Sandra Bullock. Dang, I can't remember what the name of that movie was. I don't think it's Premonition. Hold on. I got to show this to you guys. So I believe it was Kiefer. See if I can spell his name right. Kiefer Sutherland and Sandra Bullock. Oh yeah, The Vanishing. Jeff Bridges. That's the name I couldn't fucking remember. Okay, here, let's watch this.
Jeff and Diane were the perfect couple.
We're the perfect couple. So she gets kidnapped, but this is the part that kind of reminds me. Right here, I think.
What she experienced.
Where's Jack?
What she experienced.
Not everything. Diane. But not knowing was the word.
Obsession is my weapon.
He thought not knowing was the worst.
Right? He thought not knowing was the worst. So through this entire movie, his whole like issue is that he has to know. He knows that she's gone. He knows that she's dead. But he just has to know. So I'm not saying Savannah's like some kind of psycho who's using all these old movies to come up with this narrative. But that's what it's kind of playing out to be. You know, it just seems like that on the surface. There's a lot of weirdness.
I saw her joy. I saw her love of the world and adventure. I saw her belief. I saw her faith. She taught me.
Yeah, more Hollywood like stuff.
She taught all of us. And I may not do it as well as her, but I will do it. I will do it for my kids. I will. I will not fall apart. I will not let whoever did this.
All right, this is the part that makes me think about Mark Orchard. Right? It looks like Savannah's trying to explain the motivation for this crime.
Take my children's mother from them. I will not let them take my joy. They will not take my sister's joy. They will not take my brother's joy. They will not take our love. They will not take our faith. But our anguish is real.
Right? Who could she be talking about? And who would be motivated to do that? Was that the plan the whole time? To ruin her life? You ruined my life? Guess what? I'm going to ruin your life. I'm going to ruin your life and everybody who's around you. Your entire family, all the people that you care about so much. In one quick swipe of my powerful hand, I will put your life into a ruin just like you did mine. And she says, I won't let you. Almost as if she knows who she's like, almost as if she has a suspicion who might be behind the crime. That's why it reminds me of Mark. Who else, right? Go look at the Tepe murders. Who else would be motivated? Maybe this guy's not motivated by money. That's potentially could be the misleading part of this crime, the staging of the crime scene. Yeah, you want to go look for somebody who wants money and has a grudge, but maybe they really do have a grudge and they don't realize that they're concealing part of their motive. Everything that this person is doing should be giving us an idea of who they are, right? Potentially, even if subconsciously. She seems to think, well, in my opinion, that it's Mark. I think she's talking about Mark. Like, you will not be able to get away with this. Do the right thing. I know you have a conscience. I know you.
Mm-hmm. We need help. We need someone to tell the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Tell the truth, you say. What about Ronald Aaron Lopez? He almost seems to have this weird need to drop his coordinates and act like he's the masked man. And mysteriously, he's over there in Washington. That's where Mark is. To me, it sounds like Nancy's talking about Mark, perhaps. Like she thinks it might be him. Like, who else could she be talking to?
I have no anger in my heart.
Right? Why no anger? Because anger is of the devil, and you're not going to do that to me. You're not going to turn me into what you are. Well, who would try to turn her that way? Right? Somebody with a grudge. Who has a grudge?
I have hope in my heart. I have love.
Mm-hmm.
That this family needs peace.
Yes. Yes.
I don't think we deserve anything more or less than any other person.
Mm-hmm.
That lady.
You don't say, why us? Why me? Why anything? If I say why me for this horrible thing, then I have to say why me for all the beautiful blessings of my life.
I agree with that
Well,
philosophy.
then, yes. Why? I don't know.
I
why.
agree with you, Savannah.
I'm grateful for my blessings.
It's free will, right? It's free will. Whatever happens is going to happen. The choices you make lead you to your fate.
And I'm heartbroken for the sorrow.
Yes.
I'm heartbroken.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I am crushed, but I am not abandoned. We are not alone. Do we need an answer? And someone has it in their power.
Right. Power. That's the main word. Power. Whoever did this wants control, wants power. It reminds me of an arsonist. Look at the damage that I've done to you, Savannah. I got you back. Even if they catch me, you will know it was me who did this to you. Who has that kind of a grudge? He wants to take her faith, wants to take her mom, wants to destroy her family, right? Take away the mother of her children, turn her into a basket case. And I wouldn't blame her. That's the part that scares me about true crime. I don't want to have to make those types of decisions. I'd rather stay extremely cautious. And even then, it could be hiding right in front of you. You know what I mean? These chameleons. It could be your cousin, your uncle, your aunt, your sister, your brother, your neighbor, your teacher. You just never know. It could even be your news reporter, right? Your network anchor. So you have to be cautious at all times.
To help. It is never too late. And when you do, the warmth of love and forgiveness that will come.
Right? She's like, just tell us. Tell us what you did. Tell us where she is. And I promise you, we will forgive you. I feel like she's talking about Mark.
Will be greater than can be imagined. I know what it is to be forgiven.
Yes.
And there is no greater joy.
Yes.
And that joy awaits whoever can hear this and find it in their heart to help.
Yes. You're focusing on people. And
Right? Who could possibly find it in their heart to help? Who would possibly hear this cry and come forward? Well, this guy, Ronald Aaron Lopez, was in a chat acting like he's the guy. You guys are calling me a female. I'm not a female. And if you're looking for me, here you go. Here's my coordinates. Now, do you think law enforcement's going to go, oh, let's check this out? Nope. Right. We're going to turn on Fox News. We're going to turn on CNN. We're going to listen to a retired FBI agent, some professional analyst or forensic expert talk about, oh, well, this guy's probably going to have some kind of impulse and he's going to want to have attention on him. And he's sure he's going to reach out to the public somehow. Okay. But when he does, are you going to be there to see it? Are you going to be able to notice that when it happens? Or are you going to be like the poor guy, right? Like me and Mr. Strange Man, real estate agent, who tried his damnedest to submit information to law enforcement because he cared about Nancy. Time is of the essence, right? She might be alive. Take my folder, please. For the love of God, take my information. So, right. So when we see this, we tipped it in. They didn't even want Ronald's name. We don't need it. We'll take the information. They'll get to it when they can. They may or may not call you back. And if they think it's something of significance, they'll call you and they'll get the name. So I just said it. I was like, this is a recorded call, right? They're like, yep. All right. Well, the name is Ronald Aaron Lopez. Just for the recorded line. I don't care if you want it or not. There it is. Sparky. Oh, thanks. There's the Cash App. If you guys want to buy me a coffee, appreciate it. You don't have to. Hit the like button. If you can't do that kind of stuff, no biggie. All right. So Ronald, who is Ronald? I don't know. I have no clue. I have some of his social media here. Let's start with his ex. See if we can zoom in on that. There's Ronnie. Ronnie says, I'm the guy. Stop calling me a girl. And if you want to find me, here's my coordinates. I'm staying at a rehabilitation facility in Washington, D.C. Now, why would you be staying at a rehabilitation facility? Things been a little bit strange for you recently? Right? You need to get your life back in order. What'd you do? Did you do something? So we got that one. This one doesn't have a photo on it anymore. Let's see. Greatness is not found in one, but in all. He says, I'm going back to the U.S. www.att.com, support topic wireless. So I don't know if he's reading this article and decided to post about it. And these look like some error codes from a computer. I could be wrong. And I think Jira is actually like a software company. But don't quote me on that. Very interesting. But also one thing I noticed, he posted a screenshot from his, it looks like he has like a laptop mini or something. Check this out. He has the application for an Uber driver. It makes you wonder. Things that make you go, Nature Walks, thank you so much. Bam. I'm a coffee drinking mofo. Thank you. I appreciate the support. Thank you, guys. So I don't know what you guys make of this guy. Here, let's put this back up. Let's put the thumbnail back up on the screen, the comparison. So a YouTuber's doing a live stream. They're talking about where Nancy could be. They start talking about the masked man. It could be a woman. It could be a female. Why not? And I don't disagree with that. I think it's possible. It could be. But Ronald decided to set the record straight. I'm not a female. And since you're doing a live stream about where I might be at, here you go. Right? So when we hear all the experts talk about what we should be expecting, you know, all these behavioral analysis folks from the FBI talking about how this guy's compulsive and he's going to, you know, he's going to make attempts to reach out to the public and media. Well, how about a guy who's staying at a homeless rehab? Does that fit the bill? Right? I would be curious to see if this guy matches the description of the man that was seen at the rental. If this, or not the rental, but the open house. Remember the guy said, I was selling my home, was having an open house. They saw some creepy guy. Well, if this guy right here is staying at a homeless shelter, right, maybe he's homeless. Why else would you be casing an open house? Right? When everybody leaves, you go to the lockbox, you type in the little code, and you get the box. Or you get the key out of the box. And then you have a place to stay for a couple nights. Right? Maybe that doesn't work out. You go find an abandoned home or remodeling similar to the ones that are like 3 or 4 houses up from Nancy. Is that why you have this little light all the time? Because you're a burglar, you're trying to feed your drug addiction. And in your drug-drenched brain, you come up with this scheme, and it doesn't make any sense to investigators or to any of us because the dude was so twacked out. That would explain why he had to go to rehab. You will not believe what I did, doctor. What'd you do, Ronald? You would not believe it if I told you. Right? In his mind, he's like, I'm the kidnapper. I kidnapped Nancy. But why? What's the motive? He's like, I don't know. I was high out of my ass. I can't tell you, doc. Drugs. It was drugs. I have mental health issues, personality disorders, childhood trauma. Go ahead and check off all the boxes. So we're waiting for somebody to give us a sign, somebody with compulsion. When they do, there's really nobody there to listen. And even when they do finally listen and get to the tip, it's, he's long gone. If he's living that tramp lifestyle, he could take any bus and go anywhere. He could hitchhike. He could make friends. He could do whatever he wants. He has no address. The dude is originally from Florida. He could have been in Arizona and then back in Washington. But I do find it interesting that a guy is saying that he's the masked man, posting coordinates for Washington, D.C., and Mark Orchard that's where his address is listed, Washington, D.C. And you say, oh, well, maybe that's why he's posting the coordinates. No, if you go look at his social media, he actually posted coordinates from like 5 blocks away a year prior. So he's in Washington and has history in Washington. So who knows? Maybe that's when they met each other, right? He's in Washington at the end of 2025. They make this deal. Hey, can you help me do something? Sure. Are you going to pay me? Well, yeah, maybe on the back end, there'll be something for you. Tweaker, tweaker, tweaker. That's the question. I can't put him in Arizona at all. He has Florida addresses, and then he puts himself in Washington, D.C. That's it. I can't find a whole lot on him. He says he's not ex-military. No, Washington, D.C. Fantasizing, hallucinating, both. Mark Orchard hired Ronald to kidnap Nancy. Yeah, maybe. There's a theory for you. I mean, to me, he looks like the masked man. But at this point, I'm just like, everything, it's like a blur. I need to reset somehow. Oh, also, I forgot. Nah, we'll save that for another time. So we watched part 3, Ronald Aaron. All right, let's talk about my drone excursion. It might be tomorrow or it might be Sunday. I'm not exactly sure. So let me pull up Google Earth. And like I said, guys, we have Starlink. We have it, baby. Right. So that means we get to stay busy and we don't have to worry about cellular service. Not only that, we're going to get some high-powered internet. So I'm a little bit excited, a little too excited, to be honest. Capture Dandy, right? You're starting to look like the perp. Look at that profile. Look at the shape of your head. Going crazy over here. Does Ron show up in the fetish club? I don't know. He seems more like part of the Den of Thieves theory. Messing around with the homeless people. Maybe taking odd jobs. Maybe even doing some fakery. Right? Dressing up like a nurse or something. Creating a disturbance outside of Nancy's home. But you have a Wi-Fi jammer, right? You put it right there by her bedroom. And her calls aren't going through to 911. So you knock on the door, you bang on it, right? Bang, 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 bang. Tucson police. We're responding to a 911 call. She opens the door and then they just bang. Whack her on the head with something. Dressed like cops, Some imposters. All right, this will be our 10-minute warning. Let's go ahead and pull up this. So this is Google Earth, obviously. And here's Nancy's home right here. So this is, I'm going to kind of give you the rhyme and reason to the location that I selected. So just to give you an idea, right, here's Phoenix over here. Mexico. So let's say you're a resident of Tucson. You just committed a murder. Now, this whole thing is not about, this is about if Nancy was killed and dumped. And I know that's a horrible thought, but Savannah wants her found either way. And she's admitted that there's a good chance that she may have lost her life. She's very fragile. So when we go looking, we're not looking for Nancy alive. We're looking for a dump site. Unfortunately, I know that's a disgusting term, but that is the term. We're looking for a dump site, and I'm using the knowledge that I've gained covering true crime and seeing all of the other types of dump sites and why they were selected, how far they traveled, why they picked certain areas. And really, it all comes down to laziness of the individual. What level of laziness are we dealing with here? And for me, it's always an anchor point. And I don't think I'm going to start with Nancy's home as an anchor point. I believe that Tucson is the criminal's anchor point. But when it comes to finding a dump site, I think it starts with getting out and away from civilization. And leaving Tucson, and of course, you're not taking the highway, right? License plate readers, law enforcement, you're not going anywhere off the 10. You're avoiding the 10. Yes, you might go in this direction towards Mexico, but I don't think so. There's not a whole lot of BLM land over here. You guys want to know what BLM land is? That's places that it's not a forest. It's not private property. It basically belongs to the state. And it's not, it's not designated as a forest area. You can go camping there. You can go shooting there. I don't know if you can hunt on BLM land. But yeah, it's basically like an open area for you to basically do whatever you want. You want to go off-roading, you can basically do whatever you want as long as you follow the posted, the rules, fire restrictions and things like that. Camping restrictions, I think it's like every 14 days you can get up and move, but you can stay out there. Nobody's really going to bother you. Now, if you're from Tucson or even from the Phoenix area, you know this. So if you're an outdoorsman, and even if you're looking for a good location as a dump site, people who are familiar with the BLM area are going to carve out these roads that you're looking for. You're not looking for pavement. You're not looking for turning signs. You're not looking for turning lanes. You're not looking for paved turnoffs. You're looking for like a dirt road away from civilization. So the way I mapped it out would be we're leaving Nancy's home and we're staying off the freeway and we're not going towards Mexico. Why? Because that's what we told everybody in the ransom note, right? We have her in Mexico. Why would we tell her that? Because she's the opposite direction, right? She's actually more towards Phoenix. So if you're taking the back roads, you're going to take this road here. And you're not going to Phoenix. You're just going to this isolated location that's away from the highway, that's on BLM land that you're most likely familiar with because you're probably doing target shooting out here, possibly camping, maybe even planning a murder. So you don't really leave civilization until about right here. I called this kind of like a confidence point. Confidence point here when you're leaving Tucson, and then a confidence point when you're starting to get back into civilization and getting into the Phoenix metropolitan area. So we got confidence 1 and confidence 2. So I think those are going to be the anchor points and are going to be the deciding factor of where I'm going to search. Why? Because I think the kidnapper, if he did murder Nancy, whether he did it or not purposefully, if he's dumping a dead body, he's going to wait till he's out of civilization in his mind, right? And that's where his anchor point is going to start. So it's going to be around this point that he starts to say, okay, I don't see any buildings. I don't see any homes, nothing residential, no businesses. Now I'm going to start looking for a place. Well, he can't really choose this location right here because it looks like there's a business here. They have paved turnoffs. There's turning lanes. No, there's no way, right? It's just too busy around here. Well, what about these washes, right? We're still too close to that civilization here. Well, what about right here? This looks like a good spot. Why not turn off right here? Right. Oh, it looks like it's paved. We're still, still not quite right. Looking for turnoffs in these areas. But what's going to happen when you start traveling further and further on, looking for the perfect location? I feel like it's about right around here, which is the middle of the BLM area, which is probably where they're looking for anyway. But anything after this, you're basically being counterproductive. You're getting back into society, right? That's not what we want. We don't want to get anywhere near Florence because we're not confident anymore. This is where we want to be. So these are the locations that I've selected. I think I even did an illustration here that hopefully I did. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Hopefully I did. Maybe it's on my desktop. Hold on. Oh, yeah, here it is. All right. So we'll go over this. We'll hang out in the chat like 5 minutes and then we'll get out of here. Okay, so this is pretty much how I set up my waypoints on the drone. So I've already pre-programmed these in. All I have to do is kind of pull up to my location that I've pre-selected, open up, turn on my drone, set it up, select that waypoint. It's probably going to take about 30 minutes. This is about a 4 mile by 4 mile perimeter. So I'm just going to let the drone operate. I'll be talking to you guys up here. This is like a mountainous area, pretty rugged terrain. But this will all be live streamed. We'll be live here. And there's no cell service here. So I'm excited to be able to do this live because I was going to go out here and film it and then show it to you guys later. So what I'll do is I'll take the drone out. And then when it returns, we'll pull out the SIM card. We'll plug it into the laptop. We'll pull it up on the screen. And while we're looking at the footage and trying to determine whether or not we see anything, the drone will go back out again and run the other waypoint that I have set up. And we'll just do it that way, right? Once it comes back, we'll swap and repeat. And then if we have any time, we'll go into Tucson and we'll do some things. But I'm expecting this to take maybe 3 to 4 hours. And it's going to be really hot. I'm going to take precautions and things like that. But the most important part is being able to analyze the footage later. So what I'll do is after the live stream and I get home, I'll upload all of the footage onto high def, into a high def video. That way you guys can kind of analyze the footage on your own. And if you see anything, what will happen is we'll have the map on the bottom corner and I'll be screen recording the controller, which also monitors everything that the camera sees. So we'll record that, and it also keeps all the coordinates and it tells us where we are on the way, on our map here. So if we see anything and we notice anything, we'll know exactly where it is. So we'll do that tomorrow or Sunday, and that will be a live event. And then when we get back into the studio, we'll all analyze the footage together, and I'll make sure to post that footage. That way, you guys, if you have a little bit extra time or something throughout the day, you can kind of look at the footage yourself. And if you see anything strange, right, we can always talk about it. We can pin it. And on another trip, we can go and take a look at all of these areas and see if we can do some exploring or if we can find anything of value. But I think this is where we are at. You know, we're at that point where, you know, it's turning into a cold case. Law enforcement they're not taking tips seriously. They're probably just waiting on all the labs and putting all their, they're putting all their eggs in that basket. And it's unfortunate, but it's probably the safest bet. But I don't know about you. That's just not good enough for me. So I will bring you guys boots on the ground, and we'll see if we can find anything strange. I mean, honestly, you never know what you're going to find out there. They were searching for Daniel Robinson out here in Buckeye, Arizona, and they found like 3 missing people, 3 bodies, badly decomposed. But those are 3 cases closed right there. Wasn't the case that they were hoping for. He's still missing. But yeah, they went out there searching for him using everything they could. They found 3 bodies. It's crazy. Is that water on the blue area map? There are some water. There is some water up there. Oh, and also, I'll probably do some free flying. So I definitely have an interest in this wash right here. So we'll check out this wash, and I'll definitely run parallel, because legally you can't cross this highway with your drone, but you can fly parallel to it as long as you're not on like forest land. Legally you can. You can't fly a drone no matter what in a forest area. But here, I'll probably go parallel to the road. And then on maybe the following weekend, we'll do the same thing over here that we did over here. So, right, we're using these confidence points as somewhat of like an anchor point. Like, okay, now we're out here. Let's start looking for a place. Well, I know a good place, right? The most familiar place that's in between Phoenix and Tucson is this BLM land. And there's probably people camping all through here right now as we speak. Hey, Lori Mint, thank you for all your intense work. We appreciate it. Thank you guys. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the way out. Cindy, it's always good to see you. Sparky, everybody else, thank you for supporting my channel. If you can, share the video, but most definitely hit the like button on the way out. It's just right there. It's easy to do. And if you're part of the replay crew, you know exactly what to do. You got to drop a comment and we'll get back to you. Sorry we missed you. We still love you. We get it. We get it. You're too busy. You got other things that you're doing. More important. You know, something more important than getting with the Sleuth crew. We get it. We're not mad at you. You know, when you find time in your busy schedule, you'll watch the video. We know you will. Welcome. Leanne Cooley. Welcome to the Sleuth crew. Glad to have you. Hazel Phillips, have a great night. Thank you for your continued participation in the chat. All right, that's going to do it, you guys. Thank you for joining me. Keep a lookout for the notification. Like I said, it could be tomorrow that we go out into the wood or into the desert on a horse with no name, or it could be Sunday. But you got to hit the bell icon so you get those notifications, and you have to be subbed up. If you need to get a hold of me, you can always go to sleuthintuition.com, hit the contact tab, and you can get a hold of me that way. Otherwise, I'll see you again real soon. Peace.